This video is presented to you by Canadian Gundam. $10 flat rate shipping from coast to Canadian coast. Now also shipping to the United States.
Hey guys, this is 101R Smith, also known as Reggie Smith, and today I present to the Gunpla Network my review of the Master Grade Turn X. The box art is definitely one of the types of box arts that's trying to really distinctly have the Gundam, or in this case the mobile suit, prominent. In this case, it uses a darker wood-like background, which is based off of a scene later on in the anime where the Turn X is attacking a replica of Zaku, and in the background you have the Turn A. It's really subtle, but it's trying to have that lemony green color of the Turn X stand out among everything else in the box art, and it's really going to help to stand out in terms of other box arts and get a Gunpla enthusiast to come and pick it up. The building process for the Turn X is definitely one of the more unique builds in the world of Gunpla. If you're getting tired of the almost standardized building process of a Master Grade Gundam, the Turn X is definitely your alternative if you want something completely different and something that is going to give you almost a bit of a challenge. The Turn X's building process, while it is at times straightforward, you'll be wondering at times, am I even building something out of the Gundam series, or am I building something out of Macross or frame arms? This definitely has a lot of techniques that haven't been used before. You'll also be happy to know that this is one of the few or more recent kits that doesn't use polycaps at all. This is all polystyrene plastic, which is going to make it feel a lot less lighter. But you'll need to be mindful of that later on in terms of gimmicks. I give the building process an 8 out of 10. When you're done building, the overall look of the Turn X is definitely what you expect out of the box. It's very accurate to its Master Grade standards when it comes from looking out of the anime. I would say that also to be in mind that it has a lot of panel lines, so break out the real touch are your enamel paints. This looks just like how I would imagine. It's leagues better than the old high grade or the old 1/100. However, one thing that disappoints me is one of the gashes that are on the knees. I thought it would be color separated with pieces, but they decided to give you plastic. Well, yes, you can paint that. It's a little annoying that such little details could be molded into the plastic instead of having to be a foil sticker. Otherwise, I am very happy to see how the Turn X looks out of box, straight built. I'll give the overall look for the Turn X Gundam a 7.5 out of 10. The articulation has got to be, at times, fairly standard for modern day Master Grades, but there's always that one thing that can leave you going, what? It can do that, like, for example, how the toes can go forward and back, and how even the knees can go forward and back. Took its page out of the Master Grade Turn A Gundam very well. Also, you'll figure out on your own that the arm for the Shining Finger works completely different and in sections. Like if you wanted to move it, you gotta push it out and open up all the fingers. Otherwise, I would say that the movement is very irregular, but nothing too crazy or anything that would bother you. I will say, however, posing can be a bit of a when you're trying to pose on the ground. I'm giving the articulation of the Turn X a 7 out of 10. The accessories are definitely one of the stronger points in this model kit. As well as your standard ones, you get ones that are plentiful and you can use a lot if you have a little imagination for it. You get a little beam rifle, a standard size beam rifle, a missile launcher, and a rocket launcher. And the majority of those can be stored on the backpack of the Turn X. The next little bit of accessory you're going to get is the Shining Finger. Now, it works a lot different than the Shining Finger off of Shining Gundam. Shining Finger on the Turn X is essentially a big giant beam sword that you use with the lobster hand. You open it up and then you insert it into the attack, the pattern of the gun, which is on the arm, and you can use that as a weapon to either crush the Turn A's face or slice him into a million pieces. The other accessory is actually the Turn X in itself. If you remember off the anime, or if you play Dynasty Warriors, the Turn X has its own funnel system, but it's not a traditional funnel system. The funnel system is the Turn X itself, so you can break up the Turn X into sub-pieces that could be used to attack any mobile suit. The only trade-off is due to the fact that this Turn X has no polycaps whatsoever. If you do it a lot, eventually the joints are going to get looser and looser. So you want to be mindful of how many times you use the funnel system. That's a bit of an unfortunate trade-off. One last accessory that is very thankful to be given to you is you get your own action base. And it's a very unique action base only for the Turn X. However, don't be like me when you're trying to pose in the funnel system and you break your action base. Unfortunately, I kind of kicked myself for that, and that's why some of the posing with the funnel system looks kind of sucky. So just be mindful. There's a certain peg in the rotation that you really should not move. So please be mindful of that. Otherwise, you get an awesome action base, which definitely is very understandable for the price. The accessories are definitely getting an 8 out of 10 from me. There's definitely a lot of fun to be had with the Turn X, and it's really based on patience and imagination. You get a lot of accessories, which is good, but it can be a little awkward at times to pose it. However, if you can use your imagination, you can have a lot of attack animations with the Turn A, have them attack each other just like in the anime, again with the funnel system, and you get not only an action base and arms to pose all of the limbs. You can have like Sazabi fighting Turn X with its funnels, and then the Turn X turning itself into funnels and attacking each other. Definitely, it's a kit where if you got the imagination, you can have a lot of fun, and the accessories and the action base definitely help in your goal of having fun with your Turn X. With the fun factor, I will give the Turn X a 7 out of 10. My final thoughts on the Turn X is this model kit I feel is the best representation in Master Grade form that the Turn X can get. While my only gripe is that the knee gashes aren't molded in, it's really the best the Turn X can look, especially given that this kit is only just 4 years old. It follows the rule that I have with Gunpla. If a lead Gundam is going to get a Master Grade, so should its antagonist. It's only fair that if you're getting the lead hero, it needs someone to fight off. The Turn A and the Turn X are brother units, and I'm happy that they both have the Master Grade. I do still think Turn A is a better Master Grade than Turn X, but it's only that the Turn X is maybe one step behind it. It's just that the Turn A had something special. My only other gripe that followed with the Turn X is the same gripe that I have with the Turn A. Both of them really should have come with the Moonlight Butterfly. However, Bandai decided to make that P-Bandai, which is frustrating, but out of the box, these two are going to light up the world in terms of your collection and what you can do with it. It's definitely two of the most unique suits to ever come out of Gundam, and thank you, Sid Mean, for giving those two suits to us in the Gundam community. I'm happy to have this in my collection, and I hope that you're happy to have it in your collection too. This is 101R Smith, and I will see you later.